What's up, everybody? Money Moicano here and IagoTheEditor. And remember, that's a podcast for members only, but we still posting on the main page just for you to decide if you want to join the members or not. This is just for the members, so it's just a preview. And soon we'll be only posting to the members, so make sure if you like, you join the membership. How are you guys? What's up, Iago? How you doing, my brother?
What's up, my brother? Doing good. How about you?
Very good. And just to remember everybody that we went very good on last UFC. If we were allowed to bet, we would make a lot of money. What do you think about that?
Yeah, my brother. You more money than me because I would make some different bets and I would have lost, my brother. I would have bet against Cody Brandish and Zach Ruiz would have disappointed me.
Yeah. Do you remember what I say about Cody Brandish? Make sure you bet the house and be ready to cash in, my brother. That was the thing.
Exactly.
Be ready to cash in, but other than that, was a good show, right? Were you surprised by the show? Were you surprised by the show?
Jalin Turner, I thought he had a good chance of beating Bob Green like that, but Tsarukyan and Dariush actually surprised me a lot. I didn't think that fight would end on the first round, not in a million years, but I would never bet on the first round KO by Armand. I thought that fight was going to decision, or maybe a TKO on the latest rounds, but that was a surprise. But the fight, one of the fights that I liked most was Deiveson Figueiredo, brother. Deiveson Figueiredo is a fucking beast, my brother.
He's a beast. He's a beast. The way he controlled the fight, that was very good, right?
Yeah. Beautiful to see, man. Really technical, really strong. Man, those punches, brother, Robbie Fuentes.
Fuentes. Don't try to disrespect homie. Homie has a name to be honored, my brother. No, but Deiveson Figueiredo was doing a great job, especially because usually Brazilian fighters, they don't have the wrestling background, but Deiveson Figueiredo, I know he went over here in America for several years ago, and he's been learning a lot because the way he was taking Robbie Fuentes down was just amazing, controlling, especially on his first UFC 135 fight, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. That is a thing that I want to talk with you, my brother. We should have done the Homies in Trouble of Jalin Turner and Bobby Green, because remember, I say on the last video, and when we were doing the video, I talked to you guys like, I think Jalin Turner will knock Bobby Green out in the first round, because I don't remember if I say first round, but I say definitely it's going to be a stoppage and maybe even a submission, because if you remember, Jalin Turner submitted Brad Riddell, so he has good guillotines, especially because his frame, how long he is, he's like kind of Dan Hooker, right? He's similar to Dan Hooker, good striker with good guillotines and not so good takedown defense. But what Bobby Green would do to him, you know, Bobby Green doesn't really shoot for takedowns. He's like a boxer. So we should have done a video about that. Homie was in trouble, and only to talk about that, but it is what it is. So much. We can do only so much stuff, right?
Were you kind of worried about the short notice for Jalin Turner? Because I thought that could like took a toll on him, especially on the latest rounds.
Yeah, but what only 3 rounds, right? On the Dan Hooker fight, I think he was having trouble, especially on the last round, because Dan Hooker is the same height, the same frame. He's tall. He's a good striker. He like the way he fights. I think Bobby Green is too small for him, and the way he fights, you know, because Dan Hooker could be like in the long distance, you know.
Yes.
And Jalin Turner was doing good on the first and on the second round, and then he got tired. So I was a little bit aware that he could get tired on the fight, but at the same time, I thought like Bobby Green would not push him a lot with wrestling. And even with the pressure, because the way he fights very relaxed, and we saw. And talking about that fight was one of the worst stoppage that I ever see. What do you think about the stoppage?
Brother, That was crazy. That was crazy. And then, like, I've seen people reacting to that, and everyone was like, Jesus Christ, what are you trying to do, my brother? I think it was 13 shots to the head of Bobby Green, with he facing the ground, and he was out, brother. That was insane. You think that the referee will keep working on UFC?
I think so. We had many fighters, had referees doing worse things and keeping refereeing from the UFC. So I don't know.
Some journalists asked Dana White about that, and Dana White said that the referee knew that he fucked up. He was not like Yamazaki, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
That say, I was letting him be.
Yamazaki, the coraçãozinho guy.
Yeah, the coraçãozinho guy, exactly. So Dana White said exactly that. He said it's not like he was letting Bobby Green be a warrior. He knows that he fucked up and he feels bad about that. So Dana White was kind of chill. He said, it was one of the worst that I ever seen, but he was kind of chill. He was not mad with the referee, probably because he knew that the referee knew that he fucked up. So
let me
ask you something. Just because you said that you were worried about Jalin Turner. If you had to fight Jalin Turner, you would try to take the fight for the third round, make him tired, or what would be the strategy?
I think the strategy, of course, will get him to the ground, right? But you have to use a lot of more feints. Do you remember what I talk about? I talk about that on the video about the fight between Neto, Bald BJJ, and Clay Guida. And look, Clay Guida is 41 years old. He's old. But the way he was fighting was making very hard for Neto to read him, because he was moving a lot. He was moving the head. He was like faking takedowns and throwing punches to the top of the head. So, and he was trying to grind Neto, So that's what I think is a good strategy for Jalin Turner, especially because how tall he is, and his knees. But you cannot shoot for takedowns right away. So, but of course, I'm not gonna tell you everything that I would do, because I don't know. One day I could fight him, and maybe in February, a lot of people are hating me, because these days a lot of people are giving me a lot of hate because I didn't take the Bobby Green fight. But remember, like I say, I was having trouble with my knees. It would be very hard for me to make the weight, and it's the same thing against Jalin Turner. We had the fight. We were supposed to fight in February, and February for me is a good date. It's not, and people are, man, it's too long. You have been out for too long, and that's not my fault. Unfortunately, I had a surgery on my knee. What can I do, But the only thing that I can do is keep training, keep getting stronger, keep doing PT on the knee, and wait until February, and they're gonna give me an opponent, and I will go over there and finish the opponent, and that's it, But sometimes people are too crazy about that, They are talking like I want to be out for a year. No, I don't want to. That's the way that I make my money, my brother. Never forget about that. Moicano loves money, and I have so many injuries through my career, and this one is just bothering me a lot. I hope I can be healthy and fight 2024 at least 3 times. If God help me, maybe 4, I want to get in more fights, but I don't want to talk about too much about that, opponents and this and that. I just want to fight. February, everybody, I will be ready. So who UFC send to me, I will be ready.
Yeah, people think this YouTube is making us rich, brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're not gonna fight. You're just gonna be doing videos, my brother.
Yeah.
How much people think that we make on this, brother? It's not that much.
No, it's not that much, but still, I'm not doing this because of the money now. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I want to get money off YouTube. But how much time we are on YouTube? 6 months? Less than that? We don't have much time on YouTube. Not even a year, And I'm not thinking about YouTube in a year. I'm thinking YouTube about 5 years. Imagine if we keep posting videos every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, sometimes Saturdays, and doing some lives Friday. we're going to figure out a schedule that I can train, because before, when I was just doing the YouTube, everything was doing good because I was not training because of my knee. But soon I get back to the training, it's very hard to put the both together. But let me tell you something, Iago, I really like to do this, you know. So I'm not doing this for money now. I'm doing because I like to talk to the fans. We are building a community over here, you know. We're still small, but eventually we're going to go big, especially after my next fight, you know. I want to put a hell of a performance, and I would thank everybody that is helping to support the channel, because you can see every time it's the same people, same guys, you know. So thank you so much, everybody that is supporting the channel. And believe me or not, doubt me or not, we're going to be big in YouTube too, because we have the best takes on the MMA business. You know, I don't want to do the same video that everybody does. That's why we are putting a lot of effort on the YouTube. And thank you so much, you too, Iago, to help me and to making this great content, you know.
Thank you, my brother. It's a pleasure. I really enjoy working with this. It's nice. Not only the podcast that we get here and talk shit, but editing the videos and stuff. And the community is awesome. We go there, we read the comments, and there's the haters, and fuck them. Fuck you, hater, if you listen to
It's okay, but, brother. Haters. It's good. It's a good thing to have haters.
Brother, and it's so amazing, because right now people are talking shit, but once you win the fight, it's gonna be haters too.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, oh, in the next fight you're going to lose. Well, brother, fuck you, bro.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah, it's part of the game, but not talking about the haters, but the people that support us. We go there on the comments, and there's a lot of comments talking about the editing, talking about the
editing is perfect, my brother. Yeah, this last video, if you didn't watch the video, the Sunday video about the money, that's recap, why they call me Money Moicano recap, man, that was the best editing video. Every day we are getting bad editing, and I don't know, I'm just happy with the channel. I just hope we can keep going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But before that, let's talk about what people want. People want fucking money, yeah. People want the best picks, and we have the best picks for free on YouTube, my brother. Exactly. Have you heard about? Everybody's talking about nowadays.
What's that?
A guy that a guy that sell bets. He sell bets. I don't know him. Put on the Google, my brother. I think UFC is mad at him because I think he's paying for the fighters to call his name, right?
Oh, there's another guy. Can I say it? Of course, right?
Yeah.
mybookie.ag, and all the fights that you go, the fight end, and there's a guy talking about, oh, thank you to mybookie.ag.
No, but mybookie.ag is the gamble site.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a guy.
No. MyBookie. MyBookie. mybookie.ag is a site.
Okay, it's a site.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm can bet. No problem. It's the same site as.
But it's the same thing, right? That people go there and think, because mybookie.ag, as this guy is paying the fighters to tell that, right?
Yeah, but one is a site that you can bet, like Wager Nation, let's say, and the other is the guy that sell bets. Okay. The way the motherfucking, what's the name of the guy? I forget his name. The UFC fighter that got cut.
Oh, I know the Chin Elliott friend.
Yeah.
I forgot his name too.
James Krause, you know?
Exactly.
He's doing the same thing that James Krause did, but he's not a UFC fighter, so I think, and he's not a coach, right? So he's just.
Wait, but how he's doing the same thing as James Krause?
Because James Krause was selling bet tips, you know?
Yes.
So I think this guy, you pay like a crazy amount of money every month just to be on the list,
and then he does the same thing that we do, but he charges for it.
But he charges, yeah, he charges.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any inside information.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know how he does. You know, everybody does different. But I just watch the fights, and I watch a lot of fights, and I see who's winning, who's not. Especially because in ATT you have so many people, and I can train with them and see their levels. And of course, some days you get wrong about things, you know, because in the end of the day, it's a sport. Everything can happen. But I think this guy, he does pretty good. You know, I don't want to, maybe we should censor his name on the podcast, you know, where they talk about beep, beep, just so people don't know who we are talking about.
Man, this motherfucker has a picture with Dana White.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah, go to his Instagram. Man, people know him. Like fighters actually know him. He has a picture with Dana White. He's smiling and shit.
So think about that. Every time that you're talking about him, do the beep, so he don't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Look, motherfucker is rich. He has a photo with Dana White and stuff. That's true. Smiling and shit. I like your English, my brother. He's smiling and shit. Yeah, that's a
Look
good
at
English
that.
over there.
He has pictures with everybody, bro. He has pictures with Durinho.
And
He has pictures with Charles Oliveira.
If you are on the podcast and if you liking the content, please let me know in the comments, right? Because we trying to get better content for you guys. So people want to talk about money, and let's talk about the prelims, my brother. We have over here the first women's fight, Rayane Amanda versus Talita Alencar. And like I say, women's fight is always hard to judge, but on that fight, I like Rayane Amanda. Because the other girl, Talita Alencar, I know her. She used to train here. And she's very good at jiu-jitsu, don't get me wrong. But she's still learning MMA. You know, she's still learning striking. And on her last fight on Dana White Contender, she was a very good girl. But I think the experience Rayane Amanda has, you know, she has a lot of fights. Talita Alencar 4-0-1. And the other girl, Rayane, 14-6, so you could see a huge gap in difference. But Talita Alencar, very good BJJ practitioner, but still, just because of the experience, I think Rayane dos Santos is going to win that fight.
The odds are -150 for Rayane dos Santos right now, plus 120 for Talita Alencar, something like that. So she's a good bet, right? Rayane dos Santos.
She's a good bet.
Yeah.
Again, don't bet in women's MMA because we never know. Talking about woman MMA, we have Stephanie Egger and Luana Santos. I have a good news for you. Never bet in women's MMA. Like I say, the girl is just 84, but she's an underdog. Stephanie against Luana Santos, and I think Luana Santos, she's going to lose because last fight she fought Juliana Miller and was a very, I don't know, crazy fight. So just because the fight against Juliana Miller, I didn't like Luana Santos on that fight, but she's still young. She still could improve, you know. I just think the other girl is, yeah, she's 23, very, very young. There is a
very young.
Very young, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And 6'1",
35 years old, brother.
Yeah. And that could make a difference too, right? Because of the size, you know, the strength difference, you know, when you are older than your opponent, that could be an advantage sometimes. Yes. Like I say, not all the times, but sometimes that could be an advantage. And just especially because she's an underdog, I like the other girl, you know, on that one. I think Luana is going to lose, but again, it's not a sure thing. This card, there is a lot of matchups, very weird to call, but I have Stephanie winning that one. Another thing that I think is a good, very good fight is Daniel Marcos versus Carlos Vera. Daniel Marcos is very good, 15-0, and he beat Davey Grant on UFC, and he beat Simon Oliveira. Let me tell you something, Simon Oliveira is really, really good. Simon Oliveira, Brazilian guy, very, very good. Almost beat Mokaev. And man,
sure?
No, I'm confusing.
Okay, not this guy, right?
Not this guy. Yeah. I thought he was the other guy that almost beat Mokaev, the Brazilian guy.
Let me see his name. The guy that almost beat Mokaev is...
On the knee bar.
Okay, we did a video, we used that. It's Jafel Filho, right?
Jafel Filho, exactly.
Yeah.
But look at them. Put them both on the screen and you guys going to see, like, they look like the same. But no matter what, this guy 15-0, I think he's very low profile. Nobody knows him. And the other guy, this Carlos Vera, I don't know if you watch, but did you watch the Ultimate Fighter with Chandler and McGregor? He was the guy that McGregor was like was capoeira. Do you know that?
No, I don't know that.
McGregor was singing like the music, like Rap das Armas.
Okay.
As it was capoeira and like dancing capoeira. He thought he thought the music was capoeira because this guy, he does capoeira.
Okay.
Okay? Carlos Miguel Vera, his nickname Pequeno, that means small, little.
Yeah.
He's from Ecuador, but I don't know how he speaks Portuguese. I think somebody on his family is Portuguese. And he's a professor of capoeira. He's a capoeira coach. He does capoeira. And McGregor was dancing capoeira and say, para pa 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 para pa pa. And from you guys that don't know, there's nothing to do with capoeira. This is like funk music in Brazil, like old songs, right?
Yeah.
Happy das Armas.
Take his cap off one of those kicks.
And if you see, he's like dancing capoeira. Ta-ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Yeah. You never saw that?
First time, brother. First time. I had no idea.
That's why you have to love McGregor. You have to love McGregor, brother.
Yeah, man. He's something else.
McGregor is a character, my brother, because to do that, imagine on his head, he's thinking he's doing the capoeira dance and singing Happy das Armas.
Yeah, exactly. Insane. That's like, man, that's like those visions that we see that gringos have about Brazil, but the same thing.
Exactly.
When you guys think Brazil is samba in football, that's the same thing as McGregor dancing capoeira.
It's the same vibe. It's the same vibe.
Exactly.
And so that was the guy, you know, Carlos Vera. I don't think he's that good. I think Daniel Marcos is going to beat him, you know.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Daniel Marcos very, very flying under the hot radar, you know. People don't know him much, especially because he's Peruvian, but he's very good. And I think that's one of the best picks on the card, Daniel Marcos. And like I said before, Melquizael Costa. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Melquizael Costa lost to Thiago Moises in the 155 division. But other than that, he has a lot of KOs and TKOs. And he beat Austin Lingo. Austin Lingo is a grappler, is solid. And he beat him up. And he's going to face Steve Garcia. And Steve Garcia is not that good, my brother. He lost to Luis Peña. You know, he's just not that good. You know, he beat Chase Hooper, but on the 55, Chase Hooper is questionable at 55, you know. So I don't see a word that Melquizael is losing to Steve Garcia. But remember, that's a fight. And then we have Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Hernandez. I don't think Tatsuro Taira is losing, you know.
Tatsuro Taira, right?
Tatsuro Taira, I don't think he's losing. And the other fight, Kevin Jousset and Kenan Song, I don't know who these guys are. One is French, so the other guy is Chinese. I don't care about the fight, to be really honest with you, my brother.
But it's a tough fight to bet because Kenan Song is plus 140. Kevin Jousset is minus 170. Kenan Song seems to be way more experienced than him. He's kind of not a veteran, but he's been on the UFC since 2017. And Kevin Jousset just made his first fight in UFC on September this year. So he's new in the UFC, just one win. Let me tell you something. I have no idea, okay? I have no fucking idea, but Kenan Song seems like he can be a good bet on this card. But you guys know, not financial advisor, fuck that. Next fight is Hyun Sung Park against Shannon Ross, brother.
Yeah, but look at that. Shannon Ross, 13-8. That's not a great record, right?
No, not at all.
And he's Australian. He's from Australia. And his nickname is the Turkish Delight.
Exactly.
What sense you make of that? Australian guy named the Turkish Delight. That must be the worst nickname that I ever heard, my brother.
The Turkish Delight is not... do you remember that guy? Man, the pleasure. How the fuck was that nickname, brother?
The pleasure man. The pleasure man.
Yes, man. Stupid.
Man, that's stupid.
Oh, brother, this is a mismatch, brother. Hyun Sung Park is gonna destroy the Turkish Delight.
But why the odds are not that crazy?
Let me see.
Know? Minus 200. That should be like the other guy, South Korean guy, 8-0. Minus 200.
Park Hyun Sung, as I see, is minus 400, brother.
So maybe there's a change because on the topology, minus 200, 20 years old.
Minus 400 on Park Hyun Sung, and plus 300 for Shannon Ross. And Shannon Ross, let me tell you something. If I have to guess, he's probably from a Turkish family, right? That's the only explanation for
the only explanation. But maybe from the 15th generation, because that guy doesn't look like a Turkish.
Turkish. Yeah, okay.
Put a Turkish. Let's see.
Oh, let me tell you something. He can't be Turkish, brother. Turkish people look like European people.
Really?
Kinda.
I don't think so.
Some guy.
Every time that you say Turkish, the guy has to have a mustache and a head hat, you know?
Okay, that's racist right now. Yeah, exactly.
Turkish.
I know what you mean.
Hat and mustache. When somebody say Turkish, I just think about that, like a mustache and a head red. So that guy is not Turkish. Where is his mustache? He has a beard. And where is his red hat? In Australia, my brother. In Australia.
But this guy, Shannon Ross, he's coming from 3 losses, brother. And let me tell you something. His last 2 losses was KOs on the first rounds. He lost to Clayton Rodriguez.
Clayton Rodriguez is good?
Yeah. No, Clayton Rodriguez is good?
Good.
I don't think he's that good. Is he?
I think he's good. I think he's not finding success on UFC.
Oh, I remember the problem with Clayton Rodriguez. Clayton Rodriguez was
weight class.
To fight Tatsuro Taira, bro.
Yes.
And the fight was canceled. I remember that we did a video about that. And then he fought Basharat and lost.
Yeah, Basharat.
And then he also lost to Jesus Aguilar. Jesus Aguilar is a Mexican. And he 17 seconds on the
Go
first
to
round.
Farid Bashara. Even though he was from Afghanistan, he looks more Turkish than the Turkish delight.
He looks really Turkish.
This is a fucking Turkish. Where is his red hat, my brother? Where? I don't see his red hat, my brother. That's a decent card. Other than that, we talk about the other fights in the video. If you didn't watch the video, watch the video.
It's on the card. It's on the card right now.
It's on the card. So let me ask you, what fight do you think is going to be the fight of the night on this card? If you could choose one, what is going to be? Who is going to be? Man, how I say that in English? Qual vai ser a luta da noite? Who? How? Why?
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
That's my English professor right there, my brother. Iago, the editor. Which one is going to be the fight of the night in your thoughts? In your opinion?
I think maybe Jamie Mulaki against Nazarat, bro. But this is a tough question that you just made.
Why you would say that? Why? Let's think about that.
Brother, because 2 strikers, lightweight division, and if you see Yadong Song against Chris Gutierrez, I think Yadong Song will destroy Chris Gutierrez, so maybe not fight of the night.
Do you think they're gonna? I don't know. I think that could be the fight of the night.
Yeah, it could be. Of course it could, but
you know why? Because Chris Gutierrez usually he don't lose to knockout, so it's going to be a decision. And to be fight of the night must be a decision, right? Usually.
Yeah.
Only if the fight is like the guy finished the fight on the last round, but other than that, mostly decisions, right?
Or a great comeback, as we saw with the Bellator guy. Yeah.
What do you think about his name? A guy named Bellator fighting in the UFC? What's your thoughts on that?
That's illegal, brother. I think that's illegal.
That should be fucking illegal, my brother. Send him to PFL.
Did you see what Dana White said about the PFL buying Bellator?
I see, my brother. I see.
Yeah.
One thing he got right. Bellator, not many people watch it. And see, because of the YouTube people doesn't search for Bellator. They don't search for PFL.
Yes.
And even the content creators, they don't care about that. They just care about UFC. You see guys like MMA Guru, like Mighty Mouse, you name it. You know, Jason Fire, Charles Sonny, all MMA content creators, they don't talk about PFL and UFC.
No, they don't.
You know, sometimes they talk about Ngannou and boxing, but I don't want to be like them, you know. That's why I'm doing this podcast this way. I want to to do stuff different. But I get what Dana White is saying, because not many people watch Bellator. PFL don't sell tickets, you know, even though they are getting more recognition, people don't know them. And especially now with Francis and all that, and the GP and the Bellator, I think that's going to bring more eyeballs. I still think in a market-wise, they don't sell many tickets.
Maybe PFL will get a lot better right now with these Bellator fighters, you know?
No, they will. They will.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem, and that's what I want to make my point on that. Before UFC was this big success, you know, before that, they were losing money for many years.
Yeah.
So if you want to build a martial arts promotion like UFC, you have to have deep pockets, you know. You have to spend a lot of money. And I guess we're going to find out if the investors, they want to keep throwing money to the PFL and making the shows and making the champions and making the brand until they can get the money back. So we're going to see how much money they are willing to pay. Bellator clearly didn't want to take the risks anymore, so that's why they sell. And I'm pretty sure they don't sell for that much, you know. I'm pretty sure they don't, you know, they just give the show. I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, it was released, the numbers.
No.
PFL financial terms were not disclosed when the deal was confirmed, but Bellator has cost the PFL less than 100 million, according to Sportico.
That's not much. UFC net worth.
Oh, it's billions, right?
Billions. Yeah.
12 billion.
12
billion.
Yeah. And you see, like 50 millions, that's very low compared, of course.
Yes.
But again, what's the problem? I think the problem is ESPN, you know, because if you can watch for free some shows of UFC and some shows from PFL, people don't want to pay $50 to watch PFL. If you can pay like $80 to watch UFC, you know, and they sell tickets, the UFC sell tickets because they are on the business for a long time. They know how to do it, you know. They were the first, you know. How are you going to beat the first that is on the game for a long time? So I just think it's going to be hard. I hope PFL pull this out. I hope Bellator and PFL, they do a good job, you know, because it's more places for us to watch fights and to fight as a fighter. But I don't know.
But if you think about, you were saying like, I hope investors keep throwing money on PFL. They will probably do it, right? Because they hire Ngannou first, and now they buy PFL. Brother, I think people, the guys at PFL, they believe that they could do something nice with the event, because otherwise they would not be spending that much money. Oh, okay, 100 million is not a lot of money compared to UFC. Of course not, but it's still 100 million. So if they bought Bellator, they probably have a project for like a lot of time, and maybe not now, but maybe 10 years from now, PFL will be a nice, great event that will. I don't think they will never be able to compete with UFC, but like they will have some key events on the year that like will bring a lot of eyeballs to them. Every time Ngannou will fight, we will watch. Probably they will have a lot of fighters like that too. So I hope they do well too.
Yeah, no, me too. And I got your point. I got your point. You know, it's not that they still want to believe in that. They still gonna give money and do shows, but my answer is how long they can bleed, you know, how many years is still to have profit, and how long is going to take for what they want to do really. Because before that, I don't know if you remember, maybe you didn't watch fights, but we had Strike Force, we had Affliction, we have Pride, we have all these shows that
WC, right?
WC, but WC was small, and UFC bought them to make the small weight classes. So, but Affliction back in the day, people were talking about fighters get millions of dollars, and then they going to be the next big thing, you know. And at the end of the day, man, it's a business, and sometimes, you know, they just cannot keep throwing money to the show, and the show is gone. Like I say, I hope that not happens to PFL, but like Dana White said, they are not selling tickets. In the end of the day, somebody has to pay the fucking tickets, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not only not tickets, pay-per-views. You know, one thing is tickets, other thing is pay-per-view. Somebody has to pay the pay-per-views, the tickets, the merchandising, and guess what? People only want to pay the pay-per-views and the merchandising when people are talking about them on internet, YouTube, ESPN, all over the place, and we still don't see as many audience for PFL and because think about that, people still think as MMA as UFC, you know?
Exactly.
When you say I do MMA, they say, you mean you do UFC? And not only for people that fight for the UFC, they say regular people fighting amateur show, you do UFC? So that's how big UFC is. So it's going to be a hard time for PFL to try to compete with them. But still, I hope they still keep on business, like in doing a good job, because PFL in Bellator, I hope to see great things.
Maybe they just need to market it different, man. Use the power of the internet, the organic stuff and shit. Man, do you watch Shark Tank? This podcast is too long already, but I love Shark Tank. I watch. I don't like Brazilian Shark Tank.
But that's good. That's good about podcast. We don't talk about only one thing. We can talk about whatever.
So I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank these days, and let me tell you something. There are a lot of business. Man, there's a girl. She has a company of clothing. Okay, she made a company of clothing, and it's bad for me because it's just, she says like, oh, this is a mental awareness and stuff for clothing, and the clothing has just some matches of people that are struggling with mental disease. So, but okay, let's move on. This girl made the company by herself. She never hired anyone, and she was only her. And then they asked her, oh, but how much did you sell this year? She made $240,000. Okay, right?
Almost 300,000, 250,000.
Yeah, 250,000. And they were like, oh, that's great. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's not on my year.
That's
what I do. That's what I do on a day. $250,000 on a day. You know how she does that?
No.
She just uses Instagram and TikTok, okay? And she has like a limited time of for you to buy. The sales are only available for 24 hours. And then she sells her whole stock. It's not the stock, the name, but I think people understand, in 24 hours. And then she makes 250,000 once a month.
But what she asking on the Shark Tank? Because for me, she's a success already, right?
And that's what they told her. Everyone said, girl, I cannot help you. I hope you don't sell your company for anybody, not even 1%. Keep doing what you're doing. You were doing this by yourself. You were rich because she had no debt. She had not.
Maybe she was. Maybe of course she knows that. Maybe she was just trying to promote even more. Going to the TV, everybody talking about her, because if you're making 250K a day, you're fucking 1% of the population, bro.
Yeah, but
that's a lot of money.
She does it monthly, right? She does like 250K a month because she only sells one day at a month.
Okay.
That's the thing. But and one time, I think Kevin asked her, how much money do you got in the bank? And she said, I got 400K. And they were like, girl, leave this place right now. You don't need this.
Yeah.
Like you did this by yourself. So the power of the internet is just it's just incredible. It's just amazing.
And it's like these guys on YouTube, on TikTok, on everybody, you know, they are producing a lot of content, you know, and they are generate a lot of revenue of the fans, because now we can have like people that have very low costs, right? Like our channel, very low cost.
Yeah.
We know I film from my house, but we can talk to a lot of people, man. And that's the future. And another thing that I like about Shark Tanks, it's because some people they have the most simple idea and they make tons of money, you know? Tons of money off the dumbest idea ever. Like nobody think about that, but it's very easy and it's very practical, and they make a lot of money. And and like I say, I am trying to figure out something, my brother, because
to sell.
Yeah, I want to be millionaire one day. I want to be not billionaire. I don't care if I'm not billionaire, but I want a bigger house. I wanna travel more. You know what I'm talking about, my brother.
Yeah, exactly. Can we talk a little bit more about Shark Tank? Man, I love Shark Tank.
Of course, my brother. Of course.
Let me tell you something. Shark Tank Brazil. Have you watched Shark Tank Brazil?
Yes, but I don't like Shark Tank Brazil because I think everybody's fake on Shark Tank Brazil. They never buy anything, my brother.
Yeah, it's hard for them to buy.
This fucking chili beans guy, he's the worst, my brother. If you're American, you don't know who is the chili beans. Chili beans is a fucking terrible sunglasses. And then the next episode, sunglasses. Hey, Moicano, do you want to sponsor? Chili beans is the best.
Exactly. Please, chili beans.
No, chili beans is a fucking. And this guy, I hate when people are trying to sell something and he comes over there and say, no, because I did that way. All these guys is always, I did this, I did that. Fuck you, brother. You know.
Let me tell you something. What I hate Shark Tank Brazil, and I watched a lot of episodes to talk about that, because Brazil, there's not much innovation, and that's important thing, because you see how Americans and Brazilians, we are in a different moment, business-wise. Okay, in Brazil, brother, people go on the Shark Tank and what's your business? Oh, it's a pizza shop. How do I say that? Pizza place. Okay, but what is your pizza place different than any other? No, it's the same. It's the same of any other, but it's a successful one.
Yeah.
In America, man, you watch like 5 episodes of Shark Tank, and you will see 5 things you never saw in your entire life, brother. Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, brother. America for like United States is on a different level business-wise, brother. There are people.
But you know why? You know why? It's because of the culture, my brother. I have been studying a lot history and the way America was found, and especially one thing that people don't realize that make America very different of other places like Europe and South America is the people that found America, they were Protestant, you know. After the Martin Luther in Europe, you know, they come up to America to build their own place, because back in the day, Europe was Catholic, right? And the king was Catholic, and you were not allowed to have like freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and entrepreneurship. And Martin Luther, because of the religion, because if you look Catholic religion, you know, to be rich is a sin. And it's fun because today I went to the church, and the father, the preacher, was talking about that. How be rich is a sin, you know. If you are rich, you a bad guy. If you are rich, you taking somebody money, and that's terrible, my brother. Because
you go to Catholic church?
Yeah, sometimes I go to Catholic church. Sometimes I go to Baptist church. I'm just trying to, because I was raised Catholic, you know. Okay. But soon as I moved to America, I start to frequent like Baptist church. I saw like the way they talk, and when you start to study these things, you know, because even before the America was found in Europe, the Protestant Martin Luther, he was fighting stuff that he thought was wrong, you know. And one thing was, if you are Catholic and like the institution, you know, like if you believe in God, back in the day, Europe, everybody was Catholic. Was the status quo, right? Was like the society was Catholic, the power was Catholic, and in Catholic you cannot have interest, you know. So you cannot lend money and charge interests, you know, because that's a sin. And Martin Luther said,
only kings can be rich, right?
Yes, and that's because there was God law, was God will, you know. If you're born rich, it's because God wants you to be rich. If you're born poor, God wants to be poor. So the whole church was based on that, you know, class separation, not changing classes, and not lending money. And then the Protestant Martin Luther said, no, there is a lot of wrong stuff with the institution of Catholic, you know. you should be able to lend money and charge interest. And he was saying, and the whole thing is, if you have money, it's because you're good in what you do. So that's not a curse, that's a blessing, you know. And these people, they found the Protestant religion, and you have Anglicans, Lutherans, you have Baptists, you have all kind of people. They were oppressed in Europe because the England king, and they moved to America. And you could see that on a book named The Spirit of Capitalism and the Protestant Ethic. And he was saying that thing that was the thing that built America, because the spirit of the capitalism is freedom of market. And if you have a king, you don't have freedom of market, because the king will say, you do that, you make food, you do that. But in capitalism, you do what you're good. So if you're good at doing videos, you do videos because people are gonna pay more for you, right?
Yeah.
And that Protestant ethic is the same. You know, you have to work hard. You know, you have to believe in God. And the book, they explain why that. And I was comparing USA and Brazil, and I said, man, that's one of the foundations why Brazilians' mentality is so poor. Because if you remember, on the church, on Catholic, the priests and the monks, they do like a voto de pobreza. I don't know how to say that in English.
Yeah, they do. Man, that stuff. But they compromise themselves to being poor.
To being
they
poor.
Cannot make money.
Yeah, to be a holy man, you have to be poor. You know, and you have to give everything that you have to poor people. But that way, you could never grow. You know, because without money, we can do nothing, my brother. So I think Americans, they think as money as a blessing. And sometimes Brazilians, they think about money as a cursing, you know, and I think that's a huge part. But that podcast took too long. We're going to talk more that. We're going to do more that. But if you like the podcast, let us know in the comment. That was a very good episode. Thank you so much, Iago. Final considerations, my brother.
I have none today. Oh, Brazilian Shark Tank sucks, brother.
Sucks.
That's it.
Sucks. And especially, that's the fucking problem. Because another thing is America, like the GDP, right? The Produto Interno Bruto, né? O tanto que eles produzem.
Yeah.
Is so big, you know. They have so much power on the consuming, you know, that it's just in another level. Like we're talking about, when we say a billionaire guy in reais in Brazil is like $200 million. So it's totally different. And you can see on the Shark Tank in Brazil, they never buy anything. They never buy anything, bro. It's just talk. And on the America, if they see opportunity, if they see a good price, they're going to buy the business and make even bigger. And
Kevin is going to ask for how does it call royalty deals?
Man,
I
want to finish the podcast, but you're talking about Shark Tank, and I remember the other day, the guy was 10 years ago or even more. He was trying to sell like cameras on the door, like on the ring bell door, you know?
Oh, okay.
He was trying to do that, and he was trying to sell that, and everybody was saying, nobody's gonna use that, you crazy, and this and that. And the guy say, okay. 10 years later, he was bought from Amazon for more than $1 billion, and there is an episode that he was the Shark Tank, you know?
And
so
they didn't buy it?
No, they didn't buy it. There is a guy that called the bald guy. What's the name of the bald guy on Shark Tank?
Kevin.
Yeah. So
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. So watch a video right now. Him talking about the $1 billion mistake that he did. The guy he almost bought, you know, but he want like 40% of the company, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And he said no. And then Amazon bought for more than $1 billion. And now the guy is a billionaire. He sold his product. And then now he sometimes he do little participation on the Shark Tank, and now he's a billionaire. How cool is that? A guy that was in the Shark Tank, nobody want to buy his product, and now he's a billionaire, and now he is on the Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's the spirit of the capitalism, my brother, entrepreneurship. And we have a lot to learn. And I have been learning a lot about Austrian school, you know, about Ludwig von Mises, about about Friedrich Hayek and the logics of the market, you know, about demand, about a lot of stuff. I'm reading some books and watching a lot of videos. And more that I see, of course, I'm not economist, but more than I see the freedom of market is the best thing for the market. Because if government is inflate artificially, the state is lending money to a low interest rate for some companies, that's not gonna be good. And that's why we're seeing in Brazil all the big stores are failing, like Lojas Americanas, Magazine Luiza, all that, because that's a subsidized money, you know. The interest rate in Brazil right now is 14%. How crazy is that? People in America are complaining about 7 and 8 right now on the market. And in Brazil is always 12, 13, sometimes 14. But then they lend money to these companies as 3%, 4%, and 5%. Yeah. And they are zombie companies. They just working because the governments put money on them, because they know if they go bankrupt, a lot of people will lose jobs. But this is like people that pay taxes, pay for the bad companies to survive. And the Austrian school always say, no, you have to be efficient. If you are not efficient, you're not going to survive on the business. And I think that's the most important lesson. So as we reading books and watching videos and stuff, we can talk more about economics, because this is a subject that I like a lot, especially you talking about Shark Tank. I got too excited about that. But see you in the next podcast. That was a good one. See you next time, Iago. See you, everybody. Okay? And please consider become a member to help the channel. See you soon. See you, Iago. Thank you so much.
See you, my brother. Thank you.